And I just seen this combo too, and I think it was for Aquarius, and then you have Jon Snow here sitting in the middle. So let's start with the Eight of Cups. This one is interesting to me because this is the type of Eight of Cups where, you're definitely considering at least moving away from this, moving on from this, looking at, everything that you've given to this and what you're not getting, not being fulfilled by it. But her looking over her shoulder, to me, says that there's at least some part of you that wants the other person to notice, hey, do you see that I'm ready to move on, that I'm getting ready to walk away? Please tell me that you notice this. It's like you want them to see that you are in a place where you've had enough. You can't, this is something that you can't continue to give to, but at the same time, I don't think that a lot of you are ready to move on. I think that there's at least some consideration. But, is it worth looking back to, because I look at these aces coming out. So let's start from the beginning here. The Seven of Wands. And the more I look at this Seven of Wands, the more it reminds me of the Seven of Wands from the Mystic Dreamer. I swear to God, I think they're wearing the same dress or the same outfit. But anyway, I'd have to go back and look. I look at this as you like, I'm not giving up. Anything that opposes, what you are wanting in this relationship, you're not willing to give up. They, though, on the other hand, with the Four of Cups, just aren't feeling anything. It's just, everything is just blah. Nothing's good enough. It's just not enough for them, which is ridiculous here because you're really like putting forth the effort and trying here, I think, with the Seven of Wands. It's not something that you want to give up on, but I think that you're going to get pushed to that point. Now, with the Two of Pentacles moving down on this is you wanting to keep things going, trying to figure things out, being, flexible here, walking on eggshells. I do feel like that for some of you because of the way that this person is responding to you. With the Five of Pentacles on their side, I look at this as I have nothing to give you. And I think it's more about them keeping you out of what is going on. Because they don't really understand what's going on with them. Now, absolutely, they could be looking at this situation and going, I don't know what you're fighting for. I gave you everything that I could and, nothing is good enough here. And I feel like I'm just empty-handed, which can be the case here. But I really think that a lot of you are wanting to kind of keep this relationship going, wanting to keep a connection going with somebody that just is not involved. They're not there. And they feel like they have nothing. That or they feel like they don't know what's going on with you. Now, moving out of that, though, looking at strength, you're, again, right, like really wanting to do this. You're finding your strength again to fight for the relationship almost. And with the Ten of Cups, the only reason why is because they're moving into a place now where, it's like they go from, I have nothing to, I want the Ten of Cups. I want it all. I want everything. And I think that that really is what that's about. Because with the Ten of Cups, you're talking about long-lasting happiness, the happily ever after. So I think that that is what they're wanting from you. But I don't necessarily believe that they even understand what they want, to be fair here. Now, you move into the Ace of Cups, so this gives you a reason to believe that there is, a new beginning. But I think that, like I said, at some point here, you're going to get pushed to the breaking point where it's like, are we doing this or not? And a lot of that is going to have to do with the Knight of Swords. I don't think that this is about being too hasty. I think it is about, blunt, truthful, honest communication and somebody feeling justified and saying what they need to say. So, and this could go either way here, where you are on the receiving end or you're the one that's handing it out. But I always look at this as, yeah, I was right in saying what needed to be said. But it's also about not caring about a response. It's one of the things that I point out with the Knight of Swords. When you're talking about somebody who is coming to you very quickly and very directly with a harsh truth, they don't care about what you have to say. It's not about a response anymore. But the truth needs to be told. Now, with the Ace of Pentacles, though, I do think that once that kind of communication breaks free, I think that the both of you kind of look back at the relationship and go, maybe it is worth it. Because looking at the Ace of Pentacles, I look at that as, let's be realistic about where we're going here, but it is a new start, a new beginning. It's interesting. And then the moon. But it's because of them, and I'm not understanding. And I wonder if they don't, walk away before even giving it a chance. But does it come back around? And is that why you're like, I'm not understanding? Like, what the fuck do you want? All right. So the first thing here with the Ten of Pentacles, and again, the all or nothing type of feeling, right? But we're talking about, a new beginning for you that's going to be emotionally fulfilling, where you don't feel like you're going to be left, completely drained and not getting anything out of it. But we're also talking about, absolute security and stability with this Ten of Pentacles, And then looking at the Three of Wands, I think that they should have already expected this from you. And I think that, especially if they're giving you the impression that that's what they're wanting, then, it's something that, how do I explain this? They're coming in with this all or nothing first. And you are showing it in a much different way, right? You're wanting to have at least some kind of security. Emotions are great, but if I do this, I don't want this to be a relationship that ends. That's kind of how I look at the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so they, though, with the Three of Wands, I don't think that they even expected this out of you. You can't come to somebody and say, yeah, I want everything. But then when they want the same in return, you're like, well, I don't know if that's what I want to do. Because that's what I'm getting from that. And I think that, with the Three of Wands, it's like, they thought that they knew what to expect from you, but they're going to get a harsh reality, so to speak. And then with Death, it's like, no, I'm not playing these games anymore with you, where you kind of like hold yourself back and are not willing to kind of move forward. Because with Temperance, I look at this as, not so much that they're waiting on anything from you. I think that for them, it's like, well, I need to kind of like step back here and gain some balance. It's almost like they rethink what it is that they expect from you or what they're wanting. And then for you with Death, it's like, no, that's it. That is it. That has to be over with, right? That part of the situation has to be done and over with, and things need to change. But I also feel like their response to you after all of this is going to change you. But I think that you're going to be very, confused as to why all of this is happening, because of the way that they start communicating to you. It's almost like they're totally devaluing the way that you feel and what you are saying. So with the Five of Swords, this is like, you know what? I'm not going to accept what you're saying. So I think that the Knight of Swords is you, cutting through here. And I feel like this person is going to ruin a chance with you. Because they're saying that they want all or nothing, but they're not willing to take the action to kind of do that, And I don't know what it is they're expecting from you. But I look at the moon ultimately coming out with that Ace of Cups, and I feel like, this could have been a really great chance. This could have been a really great situation, but they're really fucking it up. And I don't know how else to say that. Because the way that you respond to their Temperance is like, no, I've seen enough of that. I have seen enough of that. And that is the feeling that I'm getting from this. And it's no wonder why we're looking at the Eight of Cups as the overall, especially when it comes to opportunity after opportunity after opportunity being missed. And then them getting shitty about it, that's not right. It's like they're wanting to force you to see things their way. But for you, you're just ultimately like confused about it with the moon. And I don't think it's about, you needing to... I do think that it is about you needing to face reality, but I don't think that it's you needing to look at yourself. You understand what I'm saying? So with the moon, a lot of times it's showing things that are coming up to the surface about yourself that you need to face. I don't think that that's it. I think that you need to face reality when it comes to dealing with this person. And that may be why we're looking at pay attention to the red flags. So here's what I'm getting from this. I think that you're dealing with somebody that wants you to get wrapped up in them and not see that they're not actually wanting to fully commit. Okay, so again, whether you're dealing with male or female here, fire sign, the Queen of Wands to me typically is somebody who, first of all, shouldn't be doing what she's doing, one. Or two, she has a lot of attention from a lot of people. She's not going to get tied down to anything. But you're dealing with a person that wants you to look past that, because the Page of Wands here is about looking past appearances. They want you to get wrapped up with them. And you do. And with the Nine of Cups here, there is a lot of love. There is, a much deeper connection and happiness here. And with the Ace of Cups, though, what I worry about with that being what's clarifying this is, are you still waiting for, the beginning here, the opportunity to present itself to, get the relationship to the 10, so to speak, right? And not in the bad way with this deck, but it is, a new start, a new beginning. Now, this could absolutely be with, somebody who was not willing to kind of like commit to you before, but clearly, I don't doubt the connection on both sides. Now, the Queen of Cups, I see that definitely as, the love, the romance, somebody being very deeply in love, very deeply in love. The problem is what you're dealing with is with somebody who is just kind of like looking to hook up, but not take it any further. That's how I see the Ten of Wands. It's about, relieving pressure, right? So it's not about built up sexual tension and then just kind of like releasing that. I look at it as somebody who's just looking to, relieve whatever burdens are going on with them, but then not really wanting to go any further because you're already at the 10, if that makes sense. And then the Two of Wands. Okay. So, and I think that this is what you kind of learn about them, but it's going to be important that you kind of pay attention to this moving forward and not really expect anything from them. So, first of all, with the Two of Cups, again, I don't doubt the connection, and it is on both sides. There is a lot of love between, you and this person, and I also see this as kind of like how your relationship was before. With this kind of like emotional connection and bond. With the Ten of Pentacles, you may be really happy with this person and there is an opportunity for a new beginning, but I think that with the Ten of Pentacles, a lot of you are taking a closer look at yourself in this relationship, because again, the Ten of Pentacles is about self-reflection, and then you move into this place with the Two of Wands where, this kind of may be what happens, but I think that you need to take more time in getting to know them. Because the Two of Wands is getting to know the person. That's where the flirting kind of begins. But I think that if you try to understand this person, I think it's going to be easier for you to, decide what you need to do. Because clearly there's something that you're not seeing. There's clearly something that you're not seeing about this person because there's too much of a connection with them. And I don't doubt it on their side, but I'm not understanding what's wrong with them. They just don't want to move the relationship forward for whatever reason. And then the Ten of Cups, Pisces. All right, so I think that there is a problem with getting your relationship to this stage, but I think it's because of an outside person. And I do see that. I always say that I need more to kind of see the temptation here with the Empress, but this is definitely it. So first of all, this is getting caught up in the passion and getting carried away. But with the High Priestess, there's some secrets. There's something that you don't know. Somebody is keeping secrets. And that secret is that there is another situation. This person is not taking care of a situation that they need to take care of. So this can show the cheating. But it's also saying, though, that I think that you know about it. Because, this person is like, I hope that they break up with them. I hope that, something bad happens, something like that, right? But it is about somebody who's not, getting enough courage to end a situation that is not good for them. Okay. And that is the person I believe that you're dealing with. But I also believe that, with the Empress here, we're talking about, the other influence, and you still dealing with somebody who is like stepping out on a person that they're with because they're obsessed with you, or you them. I mean, we can flip the script on this. But I do see the Empress as the other person that shouldn't be involved in this. And I think that you find out. And I almost wonder if you're like okay with like kind of keeping that to yourself, or keeping the relationship a secret, which can be, the kind of situation that you're dealing with. But the problem is like I said, there's a want to take it to another level, right? So, you may be dealing with somebody that's okay with the fact that you're cool with, getting involved with them, even though they're involved somewhere else. The problem is that somebody is not happy about it, because with the Ten of Cups, you're talking about somebody who thinks everything is great, but, the other person's like, yeah, I'm going to step out for a minute. That, or like I said, you're dealing with somebody who's continuously stepping out on a situation, not taking care of it. And with the Nine of Pentacles, it is about obsession. But the interesting thing here is that the Nine of Pentacles does show keeping a relationship on the down low, the hush hush, not wanting to talk about it. So I do think that for some of you, you may be having a hard time making this relationship go anywhere because it's a secret affair, if that makes sense. Oh my goodness. They're trying to get it out. But I also feel like this could definitely be you with the Page of Cups coming out of this. Like, damn it, I need this person to understand that what I want is more. I want more. I don't want to see them involved with this other person anymore, because clearly, the romance here, right? Like the fairy tale romance, but it's all secretive. It's all secretive. The Five of Cups coming through, here's my problem. This is like getting wrapped up in the passion with somebody, them letting the secret out, and then having to apologize for lying to you, and, wanting you to kind of like be okay. And I think that for you, it's something that you can't say no to. I can't say no to this, but it's still a secret relationship. And that's how I see this. Now, again, you guys, like I always say, these are general messages. They're not going to be for everybody. But I really believe that you're dealing with a person here who really needs to take care of their situation, because clearly they're not happy. And everything is not okay. And it's either them or you here that is trying to, get that kind of like emotional communication out. But, with this Page of Cups, you're looking at a lot of difficulty in doing that. And I think that for you, it's like, look, I'm tired of seeing you involved in this other relationship. I want more from this. And that may be what's happening though. I mean, as soon as you can like get it out, spit it out, say what needs to be said.